used to be one solid mass of cow poop, which is really just, you know, yeah, it's really just redone grass. If I was to stick my knee in that and then wash my clothes, I'd just have a green stain, just like a grass stain. It's really cool. So, but what happens is the flies come and they land on this piece of poop, and they lay an egg. 3 days later to 5 days, depending on the weather, that egg turns into larvae or a maggot right before it becomes a fly. Well, these guys can't wait to get that protein-rich larvae. Okay. So they tear this whole thing apart to get at it.
Okay, back to
pecking order. So they just tear this whole thing apart, trying to get every last grub out of it. And that's why you see this. So that does a bunch of things for me. And then there's another one right there. It makes my chickens' eggs better. It distributes the cow manure without me having to put a dragnet behind a tractor and drive over it, so you save fuel that way. And they distribute their own manure as they spread out throughout the pasture the entire time. And chicken manure is like the most nitrogen-rich thing you could possibly have. If we didn't do this and we still didn't want to use the tractor, so we just left the cow patties, they would break down eventually, but it'll be like sometime next year. And there would be really nice green grass, lush grass growing all around this. As a matter of fact, you can see that this is a nicer green than over here, for example. But the cow's not going to eat this with its own cow patty right there. So by the time they come through, you know, one rain, boom, we got dirt again. By the time they come through again, it's completely washed and ready for them to eat. They won't stick their nose up at it.
Got it. And how long will you leave the chickens here before you move them to?
Chickens will only be here for today. Then we'll shut the doors. They'll move up to about where my truck is. We'll repeat the process, and we literally just march them around.
Following the cow.
The cows, these guys are typically 3 days behind, but since the growing season's over, we're almost in November, the steers are in that pasture over there, and they're kind of staying there for the winter. The cows are on their last pasture before they go into their winter pasture, so now we're just rotating these guys all the way through one more time to make sure everything's cleaned up before we centralize these guys as well. But they'll still be out on pasture.